Are you hungry? Well, that's where we went to learn to make today's meal. We took some classes when we were in Budapest, learning a few new Hungarian tricks, and one of them was chicken paprikash. So this is a very simple meal, very traditional, and the ingredients are actually kind of few. We start with some sweet paprika here. I'm using a whole chicken that we're going to chop up, a couple onions, 2 tomatoes. Now this is a Hungarian pepper. You may also think of it as a white pepper, it's called sometime, or a paprika, of course, in Hungarian. A couple tomatoes, some salt, some pepper, and we're going to make some nokedli, the little dumplings that are so good. And we're going to start by chopping up our Hungarian pepper here. Cut it in half. I like to leave the seeds in myself. Very simple to cut. Make sure you cut through. It might be a little stringy from time to time. Take a couple tomatoes. Cut this into 1/16. A lot of our moisture comes from the tomatoes, so make sure you get good tomatoes. And then try not to cut yourself while you're doing it. I didn't cut myself then, but I saw the opportunity was there. It's actually pretty much always present here when I have a knife in here. I don't mean to be careless, but you know, when you start cooking like a bastard, some of the rules just go out the window. So that's what happened. Now, of course, I'm not a bastard. I just cook like one, and that's a big differentiation there. If I was a real bastard, I wouldn't be teaching you these things, would I? That'd be pretty bastard-like of me. Got this. I'm going to just smash a clove of garlic and put that in there. We have ourselves a whole chicken, and we're going to quarter it. And actually, that's mathematically incorrect, but let's just pretend that that's what we're doing. So we're going to start here, cut off some bad spots with my scissors. Get rid of the tail here. That seems easy enough. And I'm probably going to remove the wings. Here, take your knife, and you can feel that joint right here. Bend it back, come through, and remove the wing like that. All right, now we have ourselves a wingless chicken. Let's get rid of these legs right now, or maybe get the whole thigh thing. So we're marking inside here. You got the breasts on this side, and you got the thighs coming across here. So let's kind of mark where we think the thighs end. You can feel it right about here. So yeah, put a mark across here. Seems like a good indicator of where we want to be. So let's pull up, take our scissors, cut the skin out of the way on both sides. Kind of feel our way around here. More of the skin out of the way here. And you feel underneath here where the thigh joins in to the body. You just kind of cut through it, right down here. Feel right at that joint, right there. You see how it's split out? Perfect. And you're just going to cut this through. Open it up just a bit. And you have your scissors. Same thing on the other side. And at this point, you can probably just use your scissors to get through it. Now you flip this thing over, you got your two breasts here. So let's just cut this thing open down the middle if we can. And you just crack this open here down the sternum. Cut your skin. And there you go. You got a bunch of chicken. So after you've chopped up your vegetable and quartered your chicken, it's time to saute the onions. I'm using avocado oil today because it can do a little higher heat, doesn't smoke as much. And I hear smoking is bad. So we're going to make these so they're just slightly translucent. So after a few minutes, you're going to add some paprika to the onions. We're going to mix this up. You're going to be having some water handy because you're going to want to add some water to it pretty quickly. Not too much, but just to make this little sauce. Keep on pouring a little water in here. Let it evaporate. Just get a little tiny sauce. Heat down just a little bit. Now I'm going to put a little salt and pepper on my chicken. Or pepper. And of course, pink salt. Pink salt is the official salt of Cook Like a Bastard and Cook Like a Bastard Studios. Seasons, put a little more paprika on there if it's out there. Take a look at this, just a little more water. Put in my chicken pieces. Water. Add my vegetables, which was the Hungarian pepper, the tomatoes, and a little bit of garlic. I'm going to cover this and let this simmer for a bit. We're going to be back. So you need to check your paprikash every once in a while. Make sure you have enough moisture in there. And then also after about 20 minutes or so, let's take these pieces of chicken and let's turn them over. And we got just a touch of water. I think it's looking pretty good, but we got just a little bit more. We'll let this cook for a while. Okay, the chicken's been cooking for about a half hour or so here. We're going to make a little roux to thicken up the sauce and finish it off. So I have about a half cup of sour cream, and I'm going to put a tablespoon, maybe a teaspoon of flour. One of the two, about in between. And we're mixing the flour in. Then I take a little bit of the gravy we've been making and put this into the mixture. Then mix this in. And we can do that again. And we do it a third time. For a little Cook Like a Bastard trivia, what does that remind you of? Maybe it was the Turkish coffee show, didn't it? If you haven't seen that, all our shows are available at cooklikeabastard.com, where you'll find all of our shows, even by the opportunity to buy a t-shirt or two, so that's not a bad opportunity. And flasks, and aprons. So once we've mixed all this up right now, I need to take the chicken out. I'm going to add the sour cream mixture into it now. I'll just mix this in. You let this sit for another 5-10 minutes or so, and it's a good time to be putting your Nokedli into your boiling water once you get done with this. Making Nokedli. This is a Hungarian dumpling. It starts with about a cup of flour. I put a couple eggs into it, and we take the eggshell out. Let's do that again, and then start to mix this up just a little bit. Just put a little bit of salt in it, half teaspoon or so. Let me mix some water in here. Now you're trying to make a dough that has a kind of a medium consistency, because you're going to pour this into your Nokedli maker. And once you got that mixed up, you just move on over to your stove where you have water boiling, a couple quarts of water, and this is the spatzel maker or the Nokedli maker. So you take your dough, you just pour it in here, fill it up. Just let it go. You're making Nokedli like a pro. So you're putting this into the boiling water, and when they rise to the top, that's how you know you're done. These are so easy and they're so good. I love it when good stuff is easy. And this is Nokedli, and you might want to use it with your Chicken Paprikash, or you could use it with whatever. The reason that is because these are just so good. And they get done really quick. They've already started to come to the top here. These are very delicate dumplings here. This is Nokedli here on Cook Like a Bastard. We've been making Chicken Paprikash here on Cook Like a Bastard. We made some wonderfully delicate Nokedli. I'm going to put this as our base here. I'm going to grab myself a piece of chicken, if it will even stay on the bone at this point of the game. Put some of this wonderful gravy we put on this. And now comes the very best part, the tasting. We're simply amazing. When I say we, I mean all of us here that put this thing together. This is an amazing dish, flavorful, tastes exactly, if not even a little better than what I had when I was just in Budapest. We made some Chicken Paprikash here on Cook Like a Bastard.
Cook like a bastard today.